How we doing, everyone? We're back at the Puck About Podcast. I'm Evan, Michael, Matt, and Miles joining me again. Trade deadline this past week. Decent trade deadline. First of all, a move you guys wish happened, a move you like, good trade deadline, bad trade deadline. Michael, give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about the Rasul Douglas trade to the Bills. It was devastating as a Packers fan because he's such like a great locker room guy, and I'm just gonna miss his presence. He's had some great moments as a Packer, and I think it's a great acquisition for the Bills. Tre'Davious White's out for the season, and they need to beef up their corner room. Not like they got a fifth also to give up the third, so it's not like the worst trade off in the world. And I think it'll really help them because obviously they're in win now mode. He's not on a bad contract, and yeah, it was really sad, and the Packers players were sad in their interviews too.
Miles, your Eagles make a decent trade a little before the trade deadline, giving Kevin Byard. What do you guys think, or what do you think about the trade deadline in itself?
Uh, I thought the trade deadline this year was pretty boring, but I mean, there was like so many players that were like rumored to get traded, and just nothing happened. But the Kevin Byard trade, I really liked it for the Eagles. I mean, they like their one weakness was safety, and we've been injured at that position all year with Reed Blankenship and Sidney Brown. So I really liked it for the Eagles. I don't really know what the Titans were doing though. I mean, they're just gifting the Eagles players right now for basically nothing. And yeah, I'm really excited about Kevin Byard,
Matt,
even
what do you
though
think?
he didn't really play well the first game, but we're fine.
Matt,
Yeah, I liked the Chase Young trade for the Niners. I thought a third round pick for him was good. I'm not sure like the Niners really needed him on the defensive line. I think they really need to fix their offensive problems because I still think they're top five defense in the league. But Chase Young for a third round pick, I guess it's worth it as long as he could just stay on the field, which he hasn't proven he can do.
it's pretty crazy. I mean, a guy that was the second overall pick just got traded for a bag of chips in the third round pick. I mean, it's insane. But I think the Josh Dobbs trade is pretty interesting. They don't need him anymore
Yeah,
in Arizona. Kyler Murray come back in the next week or two, and it gives the Vikings a serviceable quarterback after Kirk Cousins went down. So, I mean, maybe they could fight their way into a playoff spot. We doubted them the whole year, and now they have that easy stretch that we talked about earlier. So, um, would you guys think about the people that didn't get traded? The Devontae Adams, Saquon Barkley's, and Derrick Henry's. Would we wish they got traded? What do you guys think?
I guess I'll go ahead. Yeah, I was pretty upset. I mean, I didn't really expect Devonte Adams to get traded from the Raiders, but I was upset he didn't. I think that Devonte made an interesting decision by like leaving Green Bay in the first place to play with Derek Carr. I understand they played in college, but I mean, he left a great organization, and Aaron Rodgers was obviously still there. But I think the Raiders have treated him horribly. Like he came there to play with Carr, and then
They get
Carr
rid
didn't
of him.
even make it through the season. They benched him and they traded him, which is just, I mean, I don't know if they consoled Adams. We don't know how that went on the interior of that organization, but I think that was ridiculous. And then replacing that with Jimmy Garoppolo on an expensive contract who stinks. Like, I mean, we can no nobody can we can't like express enough how bad he's been. And then obviously McDaniels will get
No,
that,
you
which
can touch on it. What do you let's transition a little bit. What do you think about the McDaniels situation? Was it a was it a shit show ready to happen in the beginning, or what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like hiring him in the first place is just like not the smartest decision. Like he didn't he have like a situation with the Colts where he like went and then backed out, and I don't know. I just he was kind of a just a risky hire, and it just didn't pay off. And I like what they're doing by firing him and firing the GM. Just I feel like they need a fresh start and give Devontae some better tools.
Miles, what do you think?
yeah, I agree. I think that was like a really risky hire at the beginning. I mean, he was a Broncos coach, and he did pretty bad there. And I feel like every Patriots like coordinator that goes on to be a coach ends up just failing. Like Matt Patricia was
Hmm.
terrible.
Yeah.
Joe Judge even worse.
Yeah,
I mean, they're all
I
pretty bad.
I think I saw he lasted less than 700 days as both the Broncos coach
Yeah,
a few years back, and then just I'm blanking. The Raiders coach. So
Yeah.
we'll see what the Raiders have in store. They're not fighting for anything this year, but let's transition over to some power rankings. Matt, 5 seed. Give it to me.
Yeah, so 5, I have the Niners. I'm honestly surprised they're this far down my list right now. Like, this team has just completely changed. Brock Purdy looks like Mr. Irrelevant right now. I don't know if it's because he was concussed or possibly just wasn't ready to play this week because of the concussion, but their offense just looks terrible. And the defense, like I touched on before, they're good, but Purdy just looks awful. I'm very surprised.
Yeah, I don't really see how you could put them in the top 5 though.
Yeah, I
They're
mean,
on a
I'm pretty
3-game
surprised you
losing
even have
streak. We're
them.
talking
Yeah.
about right now. Like I don't have them in my
Good.
top 5.
Because I still think they're a top 5 team. They're just going through a bit of a rough stretch, but I still I still think they're a top 5 team.
I mean, they were still without Debo and Armstead again.
Yeah.
It was, I mean,
and Trent Williams.
Trent Williams, I meant, not Armstead.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Dolphins. But Michael, what do you have in your 5 slot?
Nothing against the Dolphins, but I have the Dolphins at 5. I just think we've already talked about, like, there's not much else to say about them. I just think that the 4 teams I have in front of them are better than them. That's really my only reasoning. This is no Dolphins disrespect, and I think if they beat the Chiefs this week, I'll move them up.
I can't picture 4 teams better than them right now.
Okay.
But I'll be waiting to see. I just can't.
I'm sure. I know. I definitely can.
I definitely can't. If you're gonna say the Niners, then you're
No, the Niners aren't it.
Definitely not the Niners.
good. Miles, what do you think?
I got the Lions.
Ooh.
That was a good bounce back game from a pretty bad Ravens game. Gibbs looked amazing. Like, he looked like an actual 12th overall pick the past 2 games. Amon-Ra is looking great. Sam Laporta looks like the best tight end in the draft class, maybe one of the best in the league. So, yeah.
I have the Jags at number 5 for me. I in all honesty, I forgot about the Lions, but I don't think I would have put them above the Jags just because they played the Raiders. If we're going to talk about the Dolphins and how they haven't played anyone, and we're not going to forget about when they got demolished by the Bills, we can't forget about the Ravens taking the Lions to class. I mean, it's just
They beat the Chiefs, though.
that was week 1 without Kelsey, and they beat them by 1. They had 15 drops.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know, but I have the Jags in my 5. They're on a 5-game winning streak. I think they're the hottest team in the league right now. We understand they beat a pretty bad Steelers team, but yeah, Trevor Lawrence looks great. Christian Kirk is a wide receiver 1 right now. Evan Ingram,
Yeah,
10 catches. He looks great. Calvin Ridley had a decent game for once, but we'll see how that plays out. Matt, who do you have in your 4?
Yeah, 4, I have the Dolphins. Like Michael said, I think they're a good team. I just have 3 teams I like better than them currently. I mean, Tua just happens to play really well versus Bill Belichick's defense, which is very impressive. Gotta give him credit. Overall, just a solid game. Defense was good enough. Offense looked great. So I have them at my 4.
Okay, that's fine. Michael, what do you think?
I have the Ravens at my 4. They took care of business against the Cardinals. I think I talked a lot about them last week. I just think Lamar is playing some of his best football. Their defense is one of the best Lamar's had as a Raven, and the weapons are coming along.
Excuse me. Miles, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I got the Chiefs at 4. Yeah, I mean, they didn't have a touchdown against the Broncos, and the Dolphins are scoring 70 on them. I mean, that's.
Wait. I swear, if you don't have
Oh no,
the
the Dolphins are on my list.
Okay, good. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
I
Sorry.
think that Broncos game is very telling. I mean, Pat Mahomes had 2 picks. I mean, the Broncos defense is one of the worst in the league. Same with their offense, and they're giving up 24 points and not scoring a touchdown. I think that's just. I mean, I got to move them down a lot after that.
Yeah, they actually look decent.
Yeah.
The Broncos defense right now. They held Mahomes. This is the first time Mahomes hasn't had a touchdown in 2 years. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
In my 4, I have the Ravens too. Michael really said it all. Lamar looks great. They were in a decently close game with the Cardinals, who can hold their own, but not much more to say. Matt, 3 team. What do you got?
3, I have the Chiefs. I gave the Eagles. What?
You have the Chiefs above the Dolphins?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Listen, I gave the Eagles a fluke. I gave them a fluke week versus the Jets, and look how they bounced back. And the reason why I think I lost this game is that, or I think they lost the game, is because Mahomes should not have played in the first place. He was battling the flu. Told him they were okay. Told him that he was okay, and I think he just ended up hurting the team. Like at first he should have just let the backup quarterback play. I'm not even sure who it is now that Chad Henne's gone. Versus an awful Broncos defense, and I still think they're a top team in the league. Just had a bad week, but I think we had to talk about like Mahomes is not playing amazing this year. I saw a stat. I don't have exactly. Russell Wilson, I think, has pretty much the exact same stats as Mahomes for interceptions and touchdowns.
Yeah, he really hasn't been playing as
Yeah,
great.
yeah, he's
But like, I feel like this is like his floor, which is pretty impressive.
yeah.
I don't know if I'm glazing, but
Nah, no praise, but
Maybe.
Go ahead, Michael. 3.
at 3 I have the Bengals. I think they're like I said last week that they can climb into the top 5 soon, and I've already seen enough. Although the Niners haven't looked great, they had an impressive win. And Burrow, the story is Burrow. I mean, he just looks all the way back. He looks all the way back from his calf injury.
It's so
And-
scary.
And they're like in the long run, like I really like him as maybe one of the favorites to win the AFC. And like Burrow and Chase and like that offense just looks completely back, and their defense has always been solid.
They're going 13-3. They're not losing.
Yeah, not losing
They're
again.
so back. Miles, what do you think?
I got the Dolphins. So, I there was a pretty good bounce back game from the Eagles' loss, and Waddle looked great. He got more involved. Tyreek looked pretty good.
Pretty good.
I mean,
Okay.
no, yeah, he looked good.
You look good.
Yeah.
He's all right.
He's pretty good at football.
I have the Bengals in my 3 too. I mean, you said it. Burrow looks great.
Yeah.
The Niners were injured, but they're not they weren't that injured to lose by 2 touchdowns. And
Yeah.
it was more of a dominant game than the score showed, in my opinion. I think it wasn't even close in the first place. You pretty much said it all. They're scary. They are scary, that team. Burrow,
Yeah.
that's scary. That's scary, Derry. Definitely. Matt, 2 seed. What do you got?
Yeah, I got the Bengals at my 2. I don't really need to say any more, but I have a question for Evan and Miles specifically. Who do you think's better, Tyreek Hill or AJ Brown? Because respective teams.
You go first.
I think it's obvious. And he's just gonna say it because he's an Eagles fan. Like what, Matt? I mean, obviously we're gonna say our own. Wide
I don't know.
receiver.
I miss it.
All right, Michael, tiebreaker.
Yeah,
Well,
that's a better
wait,
question.
I didn't even.
But you're obviously gonna say AJ Brown.
I think I would rather have Tyreek Hill on my team, but I think AJ Brown's had a better season so far.
I completely disagree.
I think Tyreek's better.
He's hitting 2,000
Oh yeah, I think
yards.
Tyreek's a better player. AJ's had a better season.
AJ
How?
Brown is AJ Brown is just proving every week why he's maybe the second best receiver. Or I don't know. I don't think he's better than Jefferson. I think he's the third best receiver.
He's definitely better than Jefferson.
I don't think he's definitely better.
Wait,
Like
how?
this is recency bias.
No. How are you gonna say AJ Brown's having a better season than Tyreek when Tyreek's at 1,014 yards through 8 games?
I think Tyreek, by the way.
Yeah. All right, I'll just say Tyreek.
Well, I mean AJ Brown is on like a historic run of games.
Yeah, 6 games in a row with
I understand that.
125.
I understand that.
I mean, I don't think it's a crazy argument to say he's having a better season, but like I think Tyreek's better.
All right, understand. Michael, who do you have in your 2?
I have the Eagles. I'm scared to say. I have the Eagles. They chill. They looked fine against the Commanders. I don't know. The Commanders seem to be their kryptonite, but they've won both those games, even though they've been very close. A exciting game against the Cowboys this week for each team to prove a lot. Division game. I think the Eagles will win, and I think they're a great team. And AJ Brown is really the X factor of that team, and obviously the defense is great. But yeah, AJ Brown, unreal. And I think like he's going to come up big in the playoffs. Like I was a little worried how they do in the long run, but Hurts and that connection with AJ Brown is exciting.
I don't know who you could have
Packers
over
in his 1.
Yeah, I did.
Miles, give me your 2. That's not the Eagles.
Definitely not the Eagles. I have the Ravens. They've just looked extremely dominant the past couple games. Lamar looking like an MVP. The defense looking like one of the best in the league. So, yeah, I got them at 2.
I'm while you were saying, I'm trying to think who he can have in his 1.
Yeah,
You said the Chiefs,
The Ravens.
He already used the
He
Ravens.
does
He's
like
gonna-
Lamar.
You can find out.
It's gonna be
Wait,
either the Niners, the Jags, or the Lions. It has to be one of those three.
wait, did he say Chiefs?
Yeah, he said he doesn't
He
have
said
them in his
Ravens?
five.
It's gonna be the Jags. Watch.
I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be the Niners.
All right, go ahead with your two, bro.
Okay, my two is the Dolphins. I just think the teams that they've boat rushed, the swept the Patriots, beat the Broncos by 50, just went and beat Patrick Mahomes, shut down Patrick Mahomes, gave up 70 points to Tua, and gave up 9 to Patrick Mahomes. It's a little telling. The Pats went and beat Josh Allen and the Bills. It's making those wins look a little. We understand their records aren't the best, but I think it's making the resume seem a little better. They're playing great, and this week will be a big one. And they're getting more and more healthy. I mean, Jalen Ramsey's out there. He looks great.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be full strength this week besides HN. So it'll be a big game. Matt, Eagles in the 1.
Yeah, I have the Eagles in my 1. Michael explained. I just want to hear about his number 1.
Yeah,
I have the Chiefs.
Get out of here.
that's crazy.
That has to be a joke.
I like that. Yeah.
Let me explain.
You like that?
Wait, let him explain.
Let him
I
explain
want to hear
his-
this.
Let me explain. First of all, I said last week that I have the Chiefs I had them in my 1 last week, and I said it was because they're the number 1 team I like in the long run to win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And I don't want to switch up on my reasoning. And I think this week against the Broncos, Mahomes was sick, so I just can't dock. Like, I just think it was a fluky performance. I really do. I don't think this performance it shows who they are. I think they're gonna beat the Dolphins this week, and then I'm a week early on them because if they beat the Dolphins this week, I'm just gonna have them like in my 1 anyway, and I think they're gonna beat the Dolphins. So I'm keeping them at 1 because I think they're the best team in the league.
That's a joke.
Wait, so
That is
are
a
we
joke.
not gonna also say that Hurts hasn't been playing on a bad knee this whole season? Like Mahomes isn't the only one dealing with health
Yeah, but-
issues.
Oh yeah, and the
I-
Dolphins aren't.
And I
injured
have
at
the
all.
Eagles at 2, but I think Mahomes is
The
better than
Dolphins aren't
Hurts.
injured at all. No benefit of the
All right,
Dolphins
but, like-
at all either.
All right.
I think
Wait,
I can name 3 teams in the AFC that I think have a better chance in the long run than the Chiefs.
Who?
Bengals, Ravens, and the Dolphins.
I don't think Lamar Jackson in that Ravens team. I just don't. I don't trust
Okay,
that
if
team.
not, then
I
maybe
think
the
the
Jags
only team I see beating the Chiefs in the playoffs is the Bengals.
and Dolphins.
I just like the receivers are the biggest problem for the Chiefs, and I just feel like in the playoffs, Mahomes is going to reach another level, and the receivers are going to step up.
But like you can't. A drop is a drop. It's not like they're gonna drop
Yeah.
the ball. It happened in week 1 and they lost. It happened this week and they lost.
Yeah, it's going to happen, but then I think in the playoffs, it's not.
You can tell.
Remember when the Chiefs lost to the Colts last year, like the worst team in the league? The regular season
It always happens with the Chiefs. This is
Yeah.
Yeah, but
exactly.
Broncos.
This always happens
like,
with them, and
I don't-
people switch up and say they suck, and then they win the Super Bowl anyway.
No, but
So this-
I understand. But it's not like they're losing to a 500 team or slightly below. It's the
Yeah.
Broncos.
They're like projected
And they
number
shouldn't
1
be losing
overall.
by 15 to the Broncos. 13, 15, whatever it was.
I don't know. I think.
I don't know how you could watch that game and say
Yeah.
that's the best team in the NFL.
I agree.
Well, yeah. I mean, I agree with that, but like
Then what?
I'm saying this team that played on Sunday against the Broncos wasn't like who the Chiefs are. Like I think it was a fluke game.
All right. Well, I have the Eagles in my 1. I'll let Miles tell you why he has them as well. So we've.
Yeah, I mean, I think Eagles is a pretty obvious pick. I don't know how you could ever say the Chiefs. Yeah, it was a pretty bad game to start for the Eagles. I mean, the Commanders, for some reason, are the Eagles' kryptonite. Like Sam Howell, they make Sam Howell look like Mahomes. Yeah, their defense got a little exposed. Their DBs played pretty bad, especially the safeties Byard and Blankenship. But I think that game showed that they can play from behind, which they really haven't had to do that much this season. And I think it was a really good second half from the Eagles.
The alternate Philly, Philly shove, brotherly shove, tush push.
Yeah.
That's a weapon. That's scary. That's
Yeah, the
impossible
fake
to
push
beat.
push.
That is a
Swift.
fake tush push. It looks great. Let's get to some overreactions. You guys kind of hit it. My first one was AJ Brown's the best wide receiver in the league right now, but We've pretty much touched on it a little bit, but I want to hear the official ruling. Michael, yes or no? Is he the best wide receiver?
No, he's not.
Good answer.
I think I would take Tyreek and Jefferson.
Miles,
I don't.
right now, is he the best
Yeah.
wide receiver?
I
in the
would
league?
no. I would rather have Tyreek. I would rather have Tyreek on the Eagles. I definitely think he's better. But I think he's definitely the number 2, without a doubt. I mean, 625 plus yards
It's crazy.
games in a row that's insane.
Do you think he's putting himself into the MVP conversation? If not, then
Definitely.
Offensive Player of the Year.
I don't think he's going to be MVP because it's a
Yeah, give it to Hurts.
quarterback award. Maybe Offensive Player of the Year.
Offensive
I
Player of
think
the Year,
Tyreek's going to get it. He's going to get 2,000 yards.
Tyreek's hitting 2,500. Watch. No, I'm playing. But all right, that's enough for that
AJ
one.
James.
Let's go to the Battle of New York. Giants Jets was the worst game of the season this far. What do you think?
Yes, but like not gonna lie, that ending was pretty entertaining.
You're saying
I just
that
want
as
to
a
touch on
Giants fan?
Zach Wilson. Yeah, I mean I'm a Giants fan, but that was kind of entertaining. You can't deny it. Graham Gano, he fell off so hard. It was disappointing. He was the best player on the Giants last year. Barely missed any kicks. Now he's missing kicks shorter than 45 yards. But what really impressed me is we can't deny that Zach Wilson's kind of clutch. He's like top 5 in comebacks this season, and he plays well when he needs to. And that drive at the end was pretty impressive, even though the spotting of the ball wasn't really accurate with the ref. And I'm not going to get into like all the refing. Giants lost that game, but
Yeah.
he's looked impressive.
I wish both teams can lose because like neither one of them deserved to win the game.
I think that's called a tie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess. I wish I died then. Michael, what do you think it was worst game of the year?
I mean, I can't like think of other games I don't. It depends how you judge the worst game because like it was a close, like I guess exciting
Worstly
ending, but
played. Like we're not
Yeah.
going to talk about entertainment.
It was-
like if we're
yeah, it
gonna
was a
talk about
disaster.
you know what I'm saying.
yeah, it was horrible. I mean, the MVP of the game was the
Thomas
punter on the
Morstead.
Jets. Yeah, exactly. Like it was horrible, and the ending was just so hilarious that Gano missed that. It was just like a funny game. Gano misses that, and then Wilson hits 2 bombs to get into field goal range, and the spotting, and I don't even know.
And then they had
It was a crazy. Was Gano hurt? Like I need to know how he's this bad all of a sudden.
No, I don't think he was hurt.
Yeah. Well, then he needs to be cut.
it's just they had 1 second left. It's just such a Zach Wilson thing.
Yeah.
Miles, I think you were worst game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. I would also like to point out just any Raiders game.
Yeah.
They
Raiders Packers has to be up there.
suck. They suck.
Yeah.
Well, good thing the Giants are playing the Raiders this week.
Broncos Packers was kind of terrible too.
And Packers Vikings.
Yeah, the
basically
Packers
any
just
Packers.
suck.
I mean, I was actually gonna say that. I think it's an overreaction because every Packers game is worse. Their offense is so hard to watch. They can't even pick up a first down the entire first half every game.
Yo, what do you
I
think
don't-
about Jordan Love? You think all that hype was for no reason? Is he?
No, I'm being patient with him because when I see like there's I think LaFleur said this. There's a mistake. One player on the offense makes a mistake every single play. Like it's absurd. It's either one of the offensive linemen blowing a block. It's 2 receivers running into each other on the route. It's Love throwing an awful pick. I mean, it's like crazy how dysfunctional their offense is. And Packers fans want LaFleur fired. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I've been going back and forth, but they're just that's what happens when you have an offense of all 22-year-olds. It's like a college offense. It's ridiculous.
They suck.
Yeah.
They suck.
Former top 5 team.
Former top 5. That could go down for the worst moment. In
Freezing cold takes.
fucking
Retweet.
ball
Yeah.
history.
Marvin Harrison
Worst
is a
moment.
Packer.
Marvin Harrison is a Packer. Next one. Ryan Tannehill's done. Will Levis is the quarterback of the future for the Titans. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think in the long run, yes, but I did just see Mark Vrabel he didn't rule out Tannehill to start this next week. I could see them going with him for the rest of the season, but I definitely think Levis is their future quarterback.
I might have been like a Cinderella game. 4 touchdowns. That's crazy though. 3-4 touchdowns. Good for him.
He looked
I
amazing.
feel like it was bound to happen. They put Malik Willis out, and his ass got booed off.
He's just awful.
I mean,
Yeah, he's horrible.
yeah, he sucks.
Will Levis was my QB1 pre-draft, which I don't believe that anymore. Like Stroud's obviously the best, but he is for his first game. I mean, that throw on the play action where he threw from the right hash to the left. I mean, that was absurd. I mean, the arm talent on that is. I mean, like I don't even think like Bryce Young could make that throw.
I have an overreaction. I don't know if this is an overreaction, but that was the best game by a rookie quarterback so far this season.
Ooh.
Not an overreaction. I think he looked amazing, but I don't think it's possible he's going to play like that every single game. It's kind of just an impressive first game. I feel like our standards for him are going to go down as the season goes on. But I have a question for you guys also, relating to Miles' question. Do you guys view Ryan Tannehill as like a Jimmy G or a slightly better version?
Worse
Worse
than Jimmy G.
I don't know about worse.
I think.
I don't think he's worse.
He does nothing.
Like overall or right now?
Jimmy G is
If
terrible.
they're
Overall.
if it's like 4th and goal from the 10 and it's game on the line, I'm taking Jimmy G. If I
I'm
need
not.
a 10-yard completion, I'm taking Jimmy G over Tannehill.
I don't know right now. I think Jimmy would throw it in the crowd, but I think overall, Jimmy has significantly more success like in his career, so I would take him.
I don't know. But what do we think about the 1-2 matchup this past weekend? Carolina won somehow. I thought there was no chance they win. It's a little fitting that he won it against Stroud his first game, but what do we think? Is that more of a team or is that a quarterback matchup? What do we think?
I thought that was more of like defenses. I mean, what was the score like? What, like 14-12 maybe, or
Yeah,
something like
Yeah.
that?
or something.
Yeah, that was just a really low scoring game. I don't think either quarterback played a particularly good game. Yeah.
It was 15,
Yeah, I think there's
15-13. Sorry.
Yeah, I think there were some good Bryce Young moments, and I didn't really watch much of the game. I think Stroud had some all right moments, but yeah, I mean, defensive battle. I think Hubbard had like 15 carries for 28 yards or something like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, the Miles said it was the defenses.
I mean, Stroud had 140 yards and then no touchdowns, so he was slinging it before. It's saying Young had 230 and a touchdown. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we might be looking into it a little too much.
They're both just in like tough situations. I think
Yeah.
they'll both be good in the long run.
Yeah, let's go into week 9 a little bit. Let's go fancy player of the week. Matt, go ahead.
I have Saquon versus the Raiders. The Raiders' defense is just atrocious. And ever since Saquon came back from his ankle injury, he's looked good. Good fan. I think he's dropped last 2 weeks 17 points, and they've been feeding him the ball. I think if Daniel Jones plays, Saquon will get less carries just because DeVito. I don't think they have a single pass attempt in the second half versus the Jets.
Saquon had like 40 carries last week.
Yeah. So if Jones plays, they're actually going to throw the ball, but I still I just like how he's been playing.
Yo, the Giants had negative 9 yards passing, and they almost
Whole
won the
week?
game.
Wow.
That's crazy.
It's insane. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think they threw the ball in the second half, and then they did like 4 times in overtime, but it was like a 1-yard check down to Saquon.
It was like the Niners in the NFC Championship.
Yeah.
Quarterback.
Michael, go ahead.
I have Alvin Kamara versus Chicago. Kamara's been a crazy, like after his suspension, he's been maybe the RB1. I don't know the exact numbers, but it seems like he drops like 20 to 25 a week. His volume is crazy. He gets like 10 targets a week, 5, 7, 8 catches. And Chicago, I mean, if you're picking a fantasy player against Chicago, they're probably going to go off.
He's a PPR machine. Miles, go ahead.
I got Brees Hall. He's had 20 plus 3 straight games. He's getting more and more targets every game, which is great for PPR. And they're playing the Chargers, which have a really bad run defense. So I wouldn't be surprised if he is like 20, 25 plus.
I'm going to take Tyreek Hill. Revenge game against his old team. Showing him you should have paid him. Give him the money. He's bound. He's going to get a 50-yard plus touchdown. 100%.
Not against my Chiefs.
Your Chiefs. But, yeah, I don't really know. Let's go into that Chiefs-Dolphins game a little bit. Let's do some picks. Michael, you said a little earlier. Tell us why you're taking the Chiefs for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, I think anything can happen at a 9:30 a.m. game in Germany. I mean, it's like we talked about the London travel time on a few episodes ago. So, but yeah, I'm taking the Chiefs. I think they're just like they're a more like consistent team. I feel like they're I just like trust them more. To I trust Mahomes and Kelsey to go off and their defense to like I think their defensive coordinator is great and we'll find a way to at least limit the Dolphins' offense.
Matt.
I'm gonna take the Dolphins. I know you're gonna like this pick, Evan. I still think the Chiefs are a better team, but the fact, like Michael said, the fact this game is at 9:30 in the morning, there's no way to describe it. I just feel like this is like a Dolphins type of game. And if this game was a Sunday night game, there's no way I would take the Dolphins.
And also, the
'Cause-
Chiefs are considered the home team, so like we kind of dodged a bullet that it's not in Arrowhead. So
Yeah.
we dodged it. Yeah, I see what that's.
But I don't know, like an early morning game, it just feels like the Dolphins type of game. I don't even know why.
The
Just like
Dolphins, the Dolphins have been in Germany since Monday, and the Chiefs are getting there Friday. So we kind of
it
mentioned
actually makes a big difference.
I think I didn't know that, but yeah, I think
switch
that
your
can make
pick.
it. Nah,
Oh,
but
Miles.
that did make a difference in the Bills Jags game earlier this year.
It
So.
did. Miles, what do you think?
Yeah, I got the Chiefs.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going off like the Dolphins. They can't beat a good team.
Okay, yeah, but the team they beat that by 50 just wouldn't beat the Chiefs. Yeah, it makes sense.
How about we talk about the Dolphins winning and not like other teams that connect to the Dolphins?
Yeah, I
Okay,
don't
but then
like
the Chiefs should have won.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
property to figure out if the Dolphins are better. The Chiefs have beaten better teams than the Dolphins have.
yeah, and the Chiefs have a really good defense, and Dolphins they got pretty much shut down by the Eagles' defense. So I like the Chiefs in that game.
Yo, the Chiefs have beaten no one. What are you guys saying?
Who have they
Tell
beat?
us-
All right,
they
all right,
beat-
ready? Lost to the Lions, beat the Jags, which is a decent win.
Kelsey was out week 1.
That's a
I wanna
decent
say.
win. Jags is a decent win.
Beat the Jags. That's a good
Beat
win.
the Bears, okay. Beat
Okay.
Zach Wilson and the Jets.
Okay.
Beat the Vikings. Beat the Broncos twice, or split with the Broncos. Almost
Mhm.
lost the first time. Only put up 19 points, and then beat the Chargers.
So Chargers, Jags, and Jets are
Okay,
three-
Dolphins beat the Chargers.
Okay. Did they beat the Jets or Jaguars?
Haven't played them. I
Who
don't
have
think
the
the Jets
Dolphins?
is a good
beat?
win. I don't
The
think
Eagles.
the Jets. I don't
The
think-
Jets' defense is good.
Yeah, using your logic, Jets beat the Eagles, so
Yeah, exactly.
All right, buddy. All right, that's a good.
they were the
You
best
got-
team in the
you did
NFL.
get
So
me. You did get me. Well, I'm obviously going to take the Dolphins. I just think they're becoming so healthy. Teron Armstead's going to play. Javon Holland's going to play. Xavier Howard's going to play. I mean, all the pieces are lining up. They're finally getting to full health. We're getting the full Dolphins package besides Achane. So I don't really think it's a close game. I think the Dolphins give it to them. The Chiefs, they scared me last week, dude. They scared me. I don't know. I just can't forget about that. But let's go Dolphins, man. I mean, I think it'll be a good one. Let's go. Another good game at the 1 o'clock. There's like one at each time. 9:31, 4:15, 8:15. So let's
Yeah,
go
it's
to
a
the 1
great
o'clock.
slate.
We got Seahawks at the Ravens. Pretty good game. Matt, what do you think?
Taking the Seahawks in this type of game. I think they've kind of flown under the radar. Geno's played good enough. The offense just got too many weapons like Kenneth Walker, Tyler Lockett, JSN, and DK. And that secondary for the Seahawks has been good. Like the defense has been solid. They beat the Lions, which is an impressive win, especially in a shootout, even though that was like 3 weeks ago. And for some reason, I just will never trust the Ravens.
Matt hates the
You
Ravens.
hate
I
that.
just, sorry.
Yeah. Michael, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm taking the Ravens. I was gonna say the Seahawks have flown under the radar. They're winning. They're leading the division right now, which is you would never predicted a few weeks ago with the Niners. But I just think because like the Seahawks' strength is their cornerback room right now on the defense, and that can obviously help. But when Lamar's running around, there's only so much you could cover, and I just think the Ravens are the better team and they're home.
Miles.
I got the Ravens. I just think they're on a roll. I mean, their defense looks great. Lamar looks great. I think they're just gonna keep it going. But I don't know if is Leonard Williams playing?
He might.
I don't
I mean,
know.
that could affect the game. Maybe I like that trade for the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Though.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Big guy. I'm going to take the Ravens, too. I just think Todd Monken's offense is finally starting to get into full stride. We said it a little when they beat the Lions after that game. But Lamar looks great. That defense looks great. I think the Seahawks have no chance, but they've flown on the radar, dude. You know what?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they win. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Be a good game.
It's a really good game.
Eagles host the Cowboys. Let's start with you, Miles. Tell me why you're taking the Eagles.
Yeah, I got the Eagles. I just think, Dak hasn't looked great this season, and I think our pass rushers will get to him. Reddick, Sweat, Brandon Graham. I don't know if Jalen Carter's playing, which could be he's a big factor, but yeah, and I just think AJ Brown, like 125, 6+ games. I think he'll keep that streak going. I think Hurts will have a big game. Yeah, in the link. So I think the Eagles get it done.
Yeah, I'll go. I think the Eagles get it done too. I think it's more of a talent on the roster side. The Eagles have probably the best roster on paper if we look at it in the full league terms. But yeah, the Cowboys haven't beat anyone that good. They lost to the Niners by a lot. The Niners and that looks even worse now that the Niners are struggling a little bit. So
Mhm.
Cowboys beat the Rams, but it's not really telling. Rams stuck with the Niners, so who knows? But it's a whole lot. Division game, anything can happen. But also, I think the Eagles are home, so with the link will be rocking. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also taking the Eagles. Same reason, Miles, and you said. I also just don't trust Dak Prescott in big games, especially when they're away. Afternoon game. So I'm taking the Eagles.
Mugs?
Yeah, I'm also going to take the Eagles. I feel like the Cowboys tend to beat up on teams with bad offensive lines to rack up sacks, and that's how they win. But we know the Eagles have the best offensive line in the league, and now that Diggs is out, AJ Brown could easily eat against the Cowboys corners.
He's doing it again. He's getting 125 again.
Yeah.
How many do we think it goes? What's your
I
prediction? How
would have
many
to look at the
games?
schedule.
Yeah, it depends on their schedule. It could go the whole season.
I mean, they have a really tough schedule coming up. I know. They
that
got
catchy
Dallas, Kansas City, Buffalo, San Francisco, Dallas, Seattle.
Wow, and they've
And then
the Seahawks 2 in there. That's a tough schedule.
I think it ends against the Chiefs.
What?
it's in Arrowhead, so I mean,
Who knows? But Sunday Night Football, Bills, Bengals. It's a really good game. Really good game to end the week. Michael, what do you think? I think I know what you're taking.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bengals. I think Burrow stays hot at home. I don't know if Rasul Douglas is playing. That's the X factor of the game for the Bills. If he could
Did
easily.
you see what they put on their injury report?
Yeah, just got
They
here.
just got here. They did not practice,
Funny.
and then the reason was okay. Sorry.
But I think if he played, he would probably hold Jamar Chase to 0 catches. But I think
Yeah.
I think Burrow is back, and the Bills defense is a little banged up, and I think they're gonna go off.
Miles, talk to me.
yeah, I agree with that. I got the Bengals. I think they keep it going. Jamar and Burrow have looked great recently, and their defense has come together. And the Bills haven't looked great this season. Also, I don't know. Is this in Cincinnati or?
Yeah.
Cincinnati.
And Cincy.
Yeah. I think that's good too for the Bengals. So
I'll jump in and take the Bengals too. I think it's teams going in different directions. Bills barely beat we're in a somewhat close game with the Bucks, who aren't that good of a team. Bengals are on the rise, obviously, so I think it's gonna be a good game. But I don't think the Bills have a chance. Matt, what do you think? Full speed.
I take the Bengals as well. I think the Bills do have a chance just because it's in it's not in Buffalo. Yeah, I agree. The Bills don't have a chance. Yeah.
Dude, I actually don't think the Bengals lose again.
I think they're gonna lose.
Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
You know
I
what's
think they
interesting
win
with the Bills?
They're probably gonna lose this week.
Besides the Ravens, they don't play anyone good, and then they play
Jacksonville.
The Chiefs. They play the Chiefs.
They
When
could
the
lose
Bills are
Jacksonville.
doing bad on offense, and then you see Stephon Diggs smashing tablets or throwing his helmet, it's like a bad vibe for the team.
Yeah.
I don't
Could
know.
be a bad situation there.
Stephon Diggs.
Hey, what?
Stephon Diggs.
No, he's a good guy.
Biggest
a good
Lamar
player,
and
but he's really crazy.
Stephon Diggs.
He's a diva. He's a diva.
He's a diva. Yeah, well, I think that's it. Anyone else have anything? We good?
I think we're good.
Good one. Week
Yeah.
9 is gonna be good. I think those 4 games
Yes.
all have game of the week possibilities, game of the year possibilities. It's great matchups.
Yeah.
Great game on paper. Enjoy the weekend. We'll see you next time.